Coming Down is proudly sponsored by Colorado Ganja Gear, high-quality, artistically inspired herb grinders. So let me tell you, these things are great. I actually own one. My favorite part is the perfect consistency you get after grinding. Some grinders just pulverize your herb into dust, but the razor-sharp teeth and smooth action on these always leave you with perfect, fluffy, evenly ground herb. The craftsmanship is top-notch, made from aircraft-grade aluminum to guarantee you won't get metal shavings mixed into your herb. But the best part, truly, is each grinder features original artwork created by Colorado artist Lori Beatty. She creates unique mandalas that are laser-etched into each magnetic lid. And each grinder comes in a silk bag and has free shipping. So just go to etsy.com/shop/Colorado Ganja Gear and enter the code Coming Down in all caps for $5 off, or go to the show notes for this episode and follow the link. Thanks and enjoy the episode.
Greetings, one and all. Welcome to Coming Down. My name is Matthew. I'm joined here by my co-host, Nathan.
Well, hello, everyone. How are you doing, Sleeping Beauty?
I feel refreshed. Unintentional napping is one of my superpowers.
Yep.
It's kind of wonderful. I can't sleep normally,
right?
But I can just magically fall unconscious
just
sometimes.
Zonk out of nowhere.
Yep. Usually it's when I'm driving, you know.
Yeah, right. The safest time.
Exactly. You know, my brain's not doing much. Why not turn it off?
God, that's the scariest thing, driving and then, like, realizing you, like, nodded for, like, a second.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you know, fucking really only ever done that on, like, long trips, but, like, on tour and stuff, you know. Usually I catch it right away. It's like, all right, we're pulling over, but, you know, once in a while.
Yeah. Dude, yeah, there's, like, an 8-mile stretch of road between Bend and Sisters that is just straight as an arrow and almost dead level.
Uh-huh.
Like, you kind of come around this curve and down this hill onto it, and you can just see forever.
Yeah.
And there was a couple of times where it would be a full moon night and I'd just turn off my headlights and, like, drive by the moon because there was no other cars out there. You know, I was like, this is awesome. And then one night, you know, I'm really fucking tired and I start nodding off. I think I was driving home from the ski-in or something, and I woke up because I was hearing the bumps on the other side of the road.
Oh, shit.
I'm just, like, left laning it. Right? And who knows how long I was out. I mean, like, probably no more than a few miles, but still.
Yeah,
like,
probably not that long. Not as long
you know,
as you ever think, but yeah.
Right.
Yeah, sketchy.
Big time.
Man, that makes me think of, and I'll have to look this up because this was an old story that I heard, so the internet may or may not prove me wrong on this, but I remember hearing about this story a long time ago about this guy who was trafficking drugs between, I think just between Vegas and LA, and, you know, there's just like this, you're just driving in the desert and it's just like straight stretches of highway, and so the dude was doing it in an all-black Lamborghini with his lights off.
What?
And basically that was his method, and he'd drive like max speed, like 180 190 miles an hour or whatever the Lamborghini goes, right? And did this for the longest time, and he ended up getting caught because some drunk person was like walking down the center of the highway, and this person hit him and then wrecked, and the cops caught him. But then as it all came out, they figured out what was going on, and so then all these stories were coming out, all these cops saying that they were out there on radar and just would see like a blip on their radar that was like, you know, 180 miles an hour, and like a lot of cops just wrote it off as like malfunctioning, you know, like something weird or whatever, because yeah, if it's all black at night with lights off, like, you're not gonna see it. Yeah, it'll just be like that and it's gone. So
at that speed, no shit.
Yeah, totally. So
wow.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
Some crazy shit.
Holy
but I might have to look up on the internet to see if that account is actually true or if I got some of the details wrong. But
right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, totally.
Fucking the Batman of cocaine.
Dude, right? Yeah, what a crazy method. It's like, here's how we're gonna do it.
Right.
Oh, man. So this week's episode we recorded a long time ago.
Yeah,
but we decided to save it for the 4th of July.
Been banking it.
Yep, because it is a story of the 4th.
It is. It is a tale of the 4th.
Yeah. This is another kind of bummer one for you.
Yeah, I mean, I am certainly not proud of this.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't even a close call, because I technically ended up in the clink, you know?
Yeah,
but
totally. It's just such bullshit. We won't give away the the plot twist, but man, it is some serious bullshit.
It's such bullshit. God damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I don't really feel like I did a whole lot wrong, but
No.
I feel like it really bears mentioning that, first of all, cops can't testify on your behalf. And secondly, it is illegal to be intoxicated beyond the confines of your property.
Right.
And
technically, yeah.
And if a cop approaches you while you're intoxicated and asks you to leave your property for any reason, you should not do that.
Yeah, seriously.
Because they're probably trying to trick you.
Yep. Yeah, it's some dirty moves for sure.
Yeah. So I won't give away too much more than that, but I'm just like, this is a PSA right here.
Yeah.
Like, don't fucking trust the cops.
Yeah, no shit, right? Yeah, they're not really there to help you.
No.
Not most of the time, anyway.
And I mean, I've helped out some earnest cops who, like, fucking were just trying to, like, get to the bottom of something that was, like, not hurting anybody, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and I felt kind of empowered by those experiences and thought that, like, you know, maybe I can trust a cop.
Yeah.
That's some bullshit.
Yep. For real.
I mean, there's definitely some police officers out there who are committed to the public good, and I'm not trying to say that there aren't.
Of course.
But at the end of the day, they're the biggest gang on the block, and they have all the guns.
Yeah.
And they are a for-profit organization. I mean, like, yeah, it's a government entity. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that, like, anybody's fucking necessarily bankrolling off of their cop payroll, but, like, dude, they got their hands in all kinds of pies.
Oh, yeah.
And there is definitely corruption on a very high level in a lot of police bureaus, and Portland is certainly one of them.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I mean, you know, and it's weird because, like, DUIs are like an industry in my hometown.
Right.
And in a lot of college towns. And, you know, it's like, it's $10,000 for a DUI, right? Is what the state gets,
wow.
You know? After court fees and, all, you know, you pay for all your, you know, getting your license back and this, that, and the other, your community service and everything. It's about $10,000. So, I mean, it's a bread and butter industry in
right.
a place where they're popping people constantly. And it's hard to talk about because it's hard to be like, well, they should not bust people for DUIs as much. It's like, well, look,
yeah.
you know, like, we should get more drunk drivers off the road.
For sure.
So, you know, it's hard to, like, criticize it too much, but, like, for fuck's sake, man, that's all they do in my hometown is just pop people for DUIs. And at one point in time, the street that ran along where all the dorms were on the college campus
right.
was like the number 1 or 2 DUI street in America.
Fuck.
And yeah, like, that they're just cashing in tons of money on that.
Yeah.
So
the thing that kills me about DUIs is that it's illegal to sleep in your car.
yeah,
Like, you can't, like, be too drunk and just get in your car and fucking sleep it off anymore.
Right.
Like, that's against the law. And if they catch you doing that, they'll give you a DUI, even if your keys aren't in the ignition.
really.
Yeah.
I knew at one point it was like, as long as the keys weren't in the ignition or in your pocket or something, like, you could put them in the glove box. But you know,
Right. And I mean, maybe in the olden days, like, that was totally a thing. I mean, it used to be like, fucking, if a cop rousted you and you were just a drunk sleeping it off, like, they'd fucking leave you alone. You
Yeah.
know? Like,
yeah.
oh, he's sleeping it off, you know? Like, and I'm not saying that that's necessarily good policy.
Is it
either,
illegal
but
in every state and every, like, county to sleep in your car? Or
I mean, don't necessarily know. And I
yeah.
mean, like, I could be talking out of my ass, but I know people who have gotten DUIs for sleeping in their car in this town, in Eugene, and probably in Bend as well.
Well, that's some bullshit.
Right?
You know?
Well, what the fuck else are you supposed to do? Like,
Yeah.
you know, bars are a legal institution.
Yeah.
And as long as you're not visibly intoxicated, they will serve you as much as you want.
Right.
And what are you supposed to do at the end of the night if you don't, if, like, shit goes wrong and, like, you miss your ride, or, like,
Yeah.
you know, there's no more cabs coming, or, you know, whatever. Like,
Right.
there should be a way for you to not be totally fucked, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, totally. No, it's... Yeah, that's ridiculous, because to me, that's being responsible. That's getting to your car going, oh, you know what? Definitely shouldn't have had those last 2 or whatever, so I'm just going to chill.
Damn
and
straight.
Maybe not drive.
Yeah. I mean, you know, our listeners out there, if you know of the reason why people shouldn't sleep in their car, please let us know. But
you know what's wild is, so and it's got to be different state to state and county to county, but I got pulled over coming back from Seattle once, and I had had a few drinks at the bar, nothing that I felt out of sorts for. Sure. I felt completely fine, and I was 2 hours into the drive back, so, you know, had definitely worn off the couple drinks I even did have. And I got pulled over because apparently they threw up a few cones somewhere and I didn't see them, so it was a construction zone and I was speeding through it.
Oh, Jesus.
You know, one of those things. There was no construction work going on, but there were some cones, and so therefore it was a zone or whatever.
They didn't have any signs that say traffic fines double.
You know, there probably was, right. But, you know, it was late at night, and I was, you know, I would have been looking out for lights and workers and stuff, but I didn't see the little mile stretch that they had or whatever. Fair Anyhow, enough. So, you know, my bad. But, yeah, I get pulled over, and, and the cop said that she smelled alcohol, which isn't surprising. Ricky and I were both at a bar in Seattle. It's like, okay, well, you know, and I told her, like, yeah, I'd had 2 drinks. And, you know, I was like, that should put me well within the legal limit, and that was 2 hours ago or more. And she was like, okay, well, I got to roadside you and this and that. And passed my roadside, did the breathalyzer, and she was like, well, you're just under on the breathalyzer. And I was like, okay. And then I was like, well, then that means I should be able to drive away. And basically she was like, well, because of that, why don't you go up to the next exit, pull off, and take a little nap? I was like, but I'm fine, and I'm an hour from home, you know? But I didn't argue. I was like, you got it. And went and pulled over, smoked a cigarette, and then hopped back on the highway. It's like, I can get out of here. I'm fine.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like a cop being extra careful.
Yeah, it was weird, but she told me to go sleep in my car.
That's weird. Yeah. I mean, I guess a rest area is probably a place where that is okay. Yeah, but I've also heard of people getting fucked with in rest areas. So it depends on who your state cop is.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Anyhow. I was definitely irritated by the whole situation because, you know, like, I don't know. And I was going the normal speed limit, but too fast for the construction zone, I guess. So, whatever.
Jeez.
Oh, anyhow.
Speed demon.
Yep, right. Yeah. But, right on. I say we just get into it. Yeah. And, because we're going to go see some Spider-Man here.
Fuck yeah. Yeah. Well, so if you're listening to this, I'm sure that you've found a platform. But we will have some show notes. Probably not for this episode. Oh, no, we almost certainly will have some show notes for this episode, provided I can find some key treasures in my hoard.
Yeah.
So that's all going to be at comingdownpod.com. There's going to be links to all of our platforms there as well, if you want to find some other place to listen to this. And also, you'll find links there to our Patreon. It's patreon.com/comingdownpod. Another thank you to everyone who's contributed.
Absolutely.
If you haven't got merch, it's coming soon. And
I think I've mailed it to everyone who sent me their address. There are a handful of people who haven't sent me an address, so
I know of at least one shirt that we still have to send. So
yes, totally, and we'll get that out. And then so if you haven't received merch yet and you feel like there's some coming to you, just drop us a message either through Patreon, email us comingdownpod@gmail.com, or DM us on Twitter @comingdown.
Oh yeah,
at comingdownpod on Twitter. Yeah, we'll make sure we get you that stuff. So
hell yeah. Damn, did you just do the rest of the housekeeping?
I did.
I love it.
Snuck it in there.
It's so good. Nice one.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go.
So, yeah, because I showed you that American Now stuff. That Brad Neely American Now. So, Brad Neely, he doesn't have his Crease Comics site up anymore with all his, like, one-panel comics. But he has a SoundCloud with everything from all his shows. So, from all the Professor Brothers, Washington, Baby Cakes, all the Baby Cakes stuff. All Day American Now stuff. I mean, it's crazy. And all the Hard Nollins Clopio PPO show, which is the most recent show he did.
And that's the one that I've seen. I'm just like, oh.
Yeah.
Fuck, all right.
Yeah, dude's a nutcase. But here's the real thing. Have you ever watched Dear Reader Wizard People? So he basically did a Mystery Science Theater to the first Harry Potter movie. But instead, he's just kind of re-narrating the plot and telling everyone, or like reassigning characters, new titles and stuff. Oh man, it is one of the funniest fucking things you've ever seen. We should do it super soon. It's fantastic. I rarely cry laugh. Where just tears are pouring from your eyes, but that's one that'll get you.
Fucking aim. Realizing this might be one that's better for just like a 4th of July episode. Is that something we're trying to do, or should all of the weird shit that's happened on 4th of July be like...
Well, we're banking enough episodes that at this point, this one could just potentially come out around 4th of July. You know what I mean? Like...
It's just like... The only punchline to the story is that, like, I don't get my weed back. So, here's the deal. My friend Andrew, he lives out in, what is that place that's beyond Portland? Oh, Beaverton. No, it's not quite Beaverton. It's Hillsdale.
Oh, yeah, right.
We used to do 4th of July out there every year. And this one year, we go out there and we do we do the barbecue thing. Like, man, this dude has gotten his barbecue science down pretty good. And we're barbecuing all day. We do some fireworks for the kids. But at some point, like it's before the big fireworks display in Portland, but after dusk, like things got kind of weird and awkward, and it's like, well, let's just get out of here. I don't remember if it was the kids or if it was the adults, but it was time to go home.
And the kids, and
yeah. And we're driving home, and we get stuck in traffic on the I-5 bridge that's going across the river.
Mm-hmm.
And
wait, where are you heading back to?
Heading back to Southeast.
Okay. Yeah.
From Hillsdale.
Oh, yeah, right. So you're way out east side, or west side, sorry, and then coming back southeast.
Exactly. Yeah. And we're on the Squidopus, like the top bridge, and like coming...
the Squidopus? Yeah. Oh, yeah, right, totally, yeah.
Yeah, the spaghetti of bridge, like... off-ramps that come off the I-5 bridge that goes across the river.
Right. That you always fuck up the first 10 times when you live in Portland, and eventually you get them right. But
absolutely. And, we're on the top level of that. We're coming over to the Morrison exit, but traffic stops before that because the fireworks display starts.
Oh, yeah.
And totally. So we're just sitting there on the bridge watching the fireworks blow up. And that was, that was pretty cool.
I mean, that is cool.
And after a while, traffic breaks up, and we start going back into the city. But I don't remember who was driving, but someone was very frustrated about something, and maybe it was something that happened at the party, maybe it was something that got said in the car. I don't remember what it was. But I just remember being like, oh man, the tension in this car could be cut with a knife right now. And I just need to get out of here. And we stop on 7th Street and Division. And I realize, 7th and Morrison, because we came in on the Morrison exit. And I realize that I can just skip down that street and go to Apex or Beermonger. Or just about anything.
Like there's anything around here that's not this car with what's happening.
Exactly.
Right now.
And I'm just like, you know what? Y'all have a good night. I'm out. And like the denizens of the vehicle were like, have you thought this through, sir? Really? Are you leaving right now? And I'm like, yep. Bye. And like just hop out. and proceed to traipse my way down to the beer monger and or Apex. Oh, no, sorry. I know that I started at Apex. And I've certainly called someone at some point and said, would you like to hang out with me at Apex? And was shut down. And at some point moved over to the beer monger, and I believe that I repeated the process in some shape or form.
Beer monger is a rough place to finish up to.
Fuck,
it's
dude.
like all their beers are so rowdy.
Well, and they will definitely like get you right up to the point of no return there,
oh yeah, they'll serve you those 14% beers without hesitation.
And it's 4th of July, so who cares, right? Oh God.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I don't remember leaving the beer monger, but I have friends who will attest to conversations that I had with them on the cell phone who were very animated, or I was very animated. And there were apparently folks in the background that I was either talking to or just weren't too impressed with the things that I had to say and had things to say about it in the background on these conversations that I was having. And I have no memory of this. I'm just saying that people that I know will attest that I was saying things that folks weren't terribly pleased with.
So this is true blackout.
In my general environs. I mean, there is no truer blackout.
Because we were talking about this earlier. Like, most of the time, I just brown out.
Right.
You know, blackouts are hard to achieve.
And this was...
For some people.
This... Thanks. Anyway. Yeah, this was the depths. You know. And, I actually managed to make it all the way back to my house. And I had my keys in the door.
You walked?
Yeah.
Presumably.
Yeah, I walked. I mean, it's not that far from
it isn't,
Apex, my abode. And I had my keys in the door, and an officer of the law comes walking up my sidewalk. He says to me, "Excuse me, sir. Could you come help me with something?" And being the helpful citizen that I am, I mean, like, not too long before that, a cop had come to my door and said that he thought that there was a motorcycle in my shed. And I just simply showed him that there wasn't. And so with that in mind, I was like, well, of course, I can help any officer of the law. I have nothing to hide.
Right? Yeah. No, we're good to go.
Insanely drunken state. So I said, of course. Took my keys out of the door, followed him down to the street.
Fuck.
Where he promptly slammed me on the trunk of his cop car, took away my backpack, and started searching me. Because at that point, I was drunk in public.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah.
He said, "Can you help me with something?"
That's exactly what he said.
Oh, man.
And he said, "Follow me."
That's rough, dude.
Which I did.
Damn. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And
no, it seems reasonable, but also then you think about it and you're like, why would I agree to that? This seems like pure bullshit, right?
Yep.
Like, why is a cop walking up asking me for help?
And I mean, like, how is that coercion argument going to hold up in court when I'm, like, drunk as fuck,
yeah,
you know?
because it's not. Yeah.
So, you know, they put me in cuffs and searched my belongings and found that I had several bags of weed rolled up in my backpack.
Oh, no. Were you selling?
In a Tupperware. I certainly was. And he said, "Oh, well, I guess you're going to jail for this." And I said, "Oh, actually, I have a card for that." Because at the time, I was a caretaker.
Did you?
I did.
Hell yeah.
My friend had a medical marijuana card, which gave her the option of including a grower as well as a caretaker. And even though her partner was her grower, she figured, hey, do you want to just be the caretaker since we've got this card? And I said, absolutely.
Hell yeah.
So I had a card that allowed me to carry up to 3 pounds of marijuana.
Split up?
Of course.
Sure.
Because it's for a patient.
Sure. Oh.
So...
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So you feel good in this situation?
Well,
even
drunk as fuck. He's like, "Oh, well, I guess you're going to jail for that." And I said, "Actually, I've got a card for that." And his face fell.
Oh shit.
He's like, "Really?" And I said, yeah. And he's like, where? And I said, in my wallet. Okay, well, where's that? You have it, remember? Oh. Does he actually have a marijuana cart? Yeah, it's right here. Okay. And then they just put me in the car. Next thing I remember...
Wait, they put you in the cop car. Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh about that.
No, they just put me in the car after that.
Wait, how though? What were they charging you on?
Drunk in public.
Oh, of course.
So, yeah, but at least I wasn't going to jail for weed, right? And so I'm just kind of like, well, this sucks. But the next thing I remember, because I'm still like time traveling at this point.
Yeah.
I'm in booking, and I'm wearing fatigues, like cargo pants, but like actual military cargo pants, because that's just what I wore at the time. And they've got little blousons, or whatever you call them, the little ties down at the end of the legs that blouse them out, you know, that I was actually really into, because I kept wearing out the cuffs on all my pants. So like, if I could just tie them off on my ankles, then they would never drag on the ground, right? One of the reasons I wore fatigues. But they said that those little ties at the bottom of my pant legs that cinch them up could be used as a suicide, like if I wanted to kill myself, I could pull those things out and try to kill myself. And I'm like, dude, it's connected in the middle. They're only 6 inches long. I can only tie off my pant legs. Well, we're still gonna have to cut them off.
Okay.
This is not the first time in my life I've had to deal with this. And so they cut off the little fucking trailers on my pant legs. They took away my belt. You know, they put me in the drunk tank.
Damn, so you've sat in the fucking... Wait, was it the W bench? Wait.
The Group W bench.
Yeah, the Group W bench, dude.
I've been there with the mother rapers and the father stabbers and the father rapers.
So there you are.
On the Group W bench. Exactly. And the fucked up thing was they were booking other people at the same time who were like ferocious and insane, because it's 4th of July.
Yeah.
And there's some wild ass fucking drunks coming through. They're fucking screaming their heads off and thrashing and shit. And here I am complaining that they're taking away the shoelaces in my pant legs. You know, they're like, field day. Anyway, so think, you know, to their credit, they put me in the quiet drunk tank. They put me in the one with all the catatonic drunks. They had other holding cells for the fucking wild ones, and I heard them almost all night long when I wasn't passed out. Like, just fucking getting loose up in there. And anyway, they fucking throw me in the drunk tank, and I'm in there shoeless, beltless. My pants don't even cinch up at the ankles anymore.
Right.
And I'm just like, fuck, man, what am I doing here? And like, there's like a concrete table with little shitty chairs in the middle of the room, but everybody else is just passed out on the sidelines of the room. There's no benches, there's no nothing. You just like, you go and sleep on the edge of the room.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I get that. I'm gonna go attempt to do that. So I go and I lay down, just fucking Nosferatu corpse pose, like in the corner of the room, and just like try to ignore my surroundings. And eventually somebody's prodding me, so I come to, and they're like, yeah, you had really high blood pressure when you came in, so we got to check your blood pressure. And like, this is one of several times during the night when they just came in and woke me up and checked my blood pressure.
Shit.
And
because you were drunk?
No, just because I apparently have high blood pressure. I don't know.
Okay.
Or maybe it just was because I was stressed out because I was being arrested.
Yeah.
I
was going to say, like, there's probably a reason why you have high blood pressure. So.
Could be just because I was freaked out. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, maybe I'm not used to being arrested. Who knows? Anyway, at some point I come to, and there's this dude sitting at the fucking concrete table in the middle of the room in a tank top and boxers, just eating shitloads of saltine crackers. Like, he's got tons of them, and he's just like munching on them. And I'm like, dude, they gave you food? He's like, yeah, man, you want some crackers? And I'm like, yeah, I want some crackers. So I get up and I come over and fucking like hold my pants up while I'm walking over there.
Because you don't have a belt?
Yeah, and just sit down, like start eating some saltines, and I can see them through the window getting all weird because like, you know, we're hanging out and we're talking. Yeah. And then we hear some other fucking crazy fuck getting hauled off to the weirdo spot, and we're just like, well, fuck that guy, right? Like, good thing we're chill, am I right? Yeah. We get crackers and we get to hang out in our underwear. Life is good. Eventually we finish up with the crackers, and then like these assholes come in and take my blood pressure again. Then he gets all weirded out because apparently I've got cancer, and like, you know, just like takes off to another part of the jail. I think he went and like took a shit or something. And you know, they finish up with my blood pressure, and I'm like, well, those crackers were great and everything, but I'm gonna go pass out in the corner again. And you know, like, some other things happen, but like it's pretty like.
Well, so how long have you been here at this point?
Most of the night, like I like
6 hours.
So when we were crossing the bridge, it was like major fireworks time, which was like, strangely enough, that year it was like just after dark. I mean, like it was like the sky still had a dusky glow to it. You know?
So 9-ish.
Well, it's a summertime, so we're talking more like 10 or 11, right?
Okay.
4th of July.
I mean, 10, I think, at the latest. When we fire those off. So
anyway, like, let's just say that it was midnight at the latest when I was admitted into the drunk tank. And, like, at this point, you know, like, after Cracker Dude is done with his shit, it's probably, like, 5 in the morning, you know?
Okay, yeah. So you've been there for a while, like 8 hours.
Oh, absolutely. And, like, I stayed all night. Like, you know, like, everybody else was gone. Somehow, by the time they let me out, I don't know why. And so finally in the morning, they're like, dude, it's time to go. And I'm like, oh, fucking about time.
Yes, please.
And so I get out into the main, like, spot where they give you your shit back. And, you know, I get my belt and my shoes and my fucking laces back. And I'm, like, talking to the guy who's just kind of standing there. And I'm like, hey, man, I'm really sorry, but, like, I have no idea if I have any charges against me. Like, I was all fucked up last night. I don't remember a whole lot. Like, is there any way to find out if I have any charges pending? And he's like, yeah, look in your pockets. And I'm like...
They just shove the tickets in your pockets.
I pull out all these, like, yellow papers, and I'm just like, oh, Jesus. He's like, well, no, he's like, if you have a yellow piece of paper in your pocket, that's a citation. I have, like, all these yellow pieces of paper. And he's like, oh, Jesus, what is all that?
Even he was like, whoa, dude, that's a lot of yellow papers.
Right? One of them was my medical admission saying that I had high blood pressure. And then the other one was this big medical marijuana form with, like, all of my, like, you know, evidence of, like, having a medical marijuana card and all of the marijuana that they had confiscated from me. And he, like, puts his reading glasses on and looks at it. And he fucking looks up at me over his reading glasses. And he says, dude, go get your weed. He just hands it back to me.
Wait, so you had to go to another counter to get all your, like, effects back or whatever?
Oh, honey, this story is far from over. Like, so I'm like, yeah, I can get my weed back? He's like, yeah, it was medical marijuana, man. I'm like, they can't take that away from you. I'm like, it's down to evidence. Just go down to evidence. They'll give it back to you. I'm like, fucking tight. And so I'm getting all my shit back together, put my belt on, put my shoes on, and I'm like, oh, cool. I don't have to be to work until 2 o'clock. It's only 10 right now. Motherfucker. And so I take the bus home.
Oh, no.
No, I think it was 8. Anyway, I took the bus home, slept from like 10 to noon, came into work at Pix, worked all day, went home, fucking punched myself in the dick as hard as I could, and then went to sleep. And then the next day I went into the evidence locker down on just neighboring Swan Island. And,
so you couldn't pick it up that day of. You had to come back.
There was no way that I could. Like, I was like, there's no way.
Oh, because it was like miles of paper pushing and stuff.
Well, it was just, I got to get down to Swan Island, and then I got to get back home, and I got to go to Pix. But, like, I've had real shitty fucking sleep. I'm like, no, I gotta work all day. My weed can hang out in evidence for a little while.
Yeah, you're like, I guess if I can just get it back whenever.
Exactly. That was my thought. I'm just like, fuck it, man. I gotta figure out this job situation.
Damn.
And so, yeah, I mean, I worked at Pix and I fucking pulled it off. And the next day... Oh, it sucked, dude.
You're like, I was in jail last night. This sucks.
I did not tell anyone that because fuck. I might have told someone that, but anyway. Yeah. So I go down to this fucking evidence holding area, and I roll in all fucking just rainbows and sunshine. Like it's gonna be fucking. Blind Melon's No Rain right here. Yeah, I'm just like, give him my weed back, bro. Like, I got the bee costume. And guy's like, nah. I'm sorry. The DA gave us this letter that says if we give anyone their weed back, then we're guilty of a federal crime.
Oh, fuck.
I'm like, excuse me? No. Hold on. The guy up at the drunk tank said I could have my weed back.
Yeah.
He's like, sir, if I was capable, like, honestly, I'm telling you the truth right now. I want to give you your weed back.
Shit.
If I was capable of giving you back your weed, I'd be doing it right now.
So everyone there was on board with giving you your weed back.
They were so stoked that someone was even capable of having their weed returned to them that they were like, fucking Godspeed, you Black Emperor. You know, it's ridiculous.
Dude, totally. That totally makes sense.
But unfortunately, whoever the fucking toady was in office at that point in time was like, you know what? Fuck you and your legal weed. We're going to get federal on your bullshit. And he was like, do you want me to print out the letter for you? And I was like, fucking A.
Yeah.
I'm at least gonna fucking take that much of the taxpayers' money that I could fucking have a printout of this goddamn stupid letter of this fucking stupid DA.
Yeah. Can you make it 8.5 by 11 so I can get an easy frame?
Shit, I might even scan this for the show notes because I still have it somewhere.
Yes.
It's fucking great. It's such bullshit. But yeah, I mean, long story short, I went down to fucking Swan Island on my day off. And didn't even fucking get my weed back.
Fuck.
And I wasn't even doing anything. I was on my fucking porch with my key in the door. Like a fucking red-blooded American, drunk as fuck.
This is so similar to the story I told earlier, which I don't know how this falls into the timeline podcast, but
right. But I'm
for
just
the
saying,
listener at home, like, figure it out.
Yeah, right. Connect the dots,
dude. Yeah, I mean, get your board together with your fucking thumbtacks in your yard, and like, start putting it all together.
We've got it set for you. Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh man, that is so frustrating.
Like,
so you never got your weed back?
No. As far as I know, it is either still languishing in evidence or it was destroyed at some point. Or like, honestly, best case scenario, some fucking hero on the police force was like, "This is some fucking sweet chiba, and I'm gonna release it from its imprisonment."
One can only hope, right,
dude? I really hope that that's how it turned out, because I just want someone to have enjoyed that weed and for it to have not been incinerated.
Okay, wait. So I actually think I remember you telling me this story long ago.
I'm sure I did. Yeah.
I feel like there's a reason that the cops stopped you on your porch, right?
Well, because I was apparently pissing people off on my way home.
Oh, was that the thing?
Yeah, because I mean, like, I was talking to my friends on the phone, and they're like, "Dude, you were saying some shit to people, and I'm pretty sure they didn't take kindly to." I'm like, "What are you even talking about?" Like, I don't even remember, but like, people were apparently not pleased with what you were saying.
So you just stumbled your ass home and like talked shit your whole way there, probably.
Like, who knows who was in control of my body at that point? But it was apparently the imp of the perverse.
Damn.
And he had some shit to say about these Americans celebrating their independence. That's all I can fathom.
Oh yeah, it was 4th of July. Yeah.
I was probably spewing some anarchist rhetoric and like people got bent out of shape and called the cops.
Oh man, no, I'm conflating your story with another story. I'm gonna get Jasper on soon to talk about, I don't know, something.
Not to incriminate Jasper right now.
All of a sudden, I'm just gonna abolish all of it because
Jasper never did anything. He's
Jasper's a model fucking citizen.
Yep.
Who's the best until he comes on here and incriminates himself. But I'm not gonna fucking say anything.
Clearly.
Okay.
I never have said anything.
Yeah. Man. So I had a friend back in Colorado, and whatever, it could be bullshit, but he got pulled over in his driveway one time, and I want to say it was on or around 4th of July.
Got pulled over in his driveway.
And he jumped out of his car, ran into his house, and then the cops knocked, and he unlocked the door with a bottle of vodka in his hand, and in front of the cops took a giant swig out of it. And I guess they just were like, all right, fuck you, I guess. Like, because they understood, like, because they tried to pull him over for, like, drunk driving.
Oh, right.
And so he ran into his house, drank alcohol in front of them, and then they couldn't prove that he had drank before or after.
That's all I had to do. I was like feet away from my liquor cabinet.
Yeah, right? Like, see?
I could have been like, hold on. And I'm like pounding this Monopolova.
Yeah.
You know?
And maybe that story's bullshit, but it actually feels like it stands up. Because it's like, yeah, like you can't really prove anything at a certain point. And yeah, and I mean, as he tells the story, he got let off and was like,
well, and especially if it's just people being like, this guy was drunk and talking shit, you know? Like,
yeah, totally.
Because I never did anything.
Right. I mean, you stumbled home and you might have been...
Hey, I mean, like...
Whatever.
I just want to, like, take this moment to apologize to anyone that I offended on that 4th of July. But for fuck's sake, all I did was maybe say something that was off color. Like, I certainly didn't fucking vandalize anything or fucking...
Yeah.
Fight anyone.
Yeah.
I was just walking home. And there were people out in their yards, and I was interacting with them. God only knows what I fucking said.
Yep.
But.
Well, you know. America.
Murica. God damn it.